Hi, my friends. You're on Mav's Coffee Clarity. That's right, we're spilling the beans. Business intel, life hacks that you can use to move forward. Grab your best cup of coffee. You know, the greatest things happen over a good cup of coffee. Each week, we're bringing you snack-sized bites of creativity and intel, inspiring ideas that you can use to move forward. Today, I've really got a spectacular person on the show. Why? Because she keeps me face forward. All right, you want to know how Mav has no wrinkles or hardly any wrinkles? It's not the filter, my friends, not the coffee filter. It's Ginny Miller. Welcome to the podcast, Ginny. So nice to have you here.
Thank you so much, Denise. I'm thrilled. This is so exciting.
We're so happy. Ginny and I are having a nice, strong cup of coffee. And when you guys join us, whether you like coffee or tea, just know we're revving it up over here. Our goal is to inspire you. And Ginny has got a great story to share that I know that's going to inspire us. Ginny, why don't you tell our listeners just a little bit about yourself before we get into it?
Okay. Well, I've been a licensed esthetician for almost 30 years. I've worked in destination resorts, and I've also worked for a medical skincare company as a trainer and a rep. That's taken me around the world. It's been really exciting. And I'm just really passionate about helping women figure out what's actually going to work on their skin and providing sound advice and stop wasting time and money. And that's what I love.
We love that, Ginny, because the one thing I like to do is get it done.
Yeah.
And I think you were referred to me by my friend Val. Mm-hmm. And then you did this high-tech science kind of thing on my face, but you really have a solid background. So I don't want to undermine all of your great technology, but I want to hear more about how you got started, because not all skincare is created the same, right?
Right.
And we're about filter free here. So I want to know from you, like, how'd you get started?
So I was working at Canyon Ranch.
Ooh, Canyon Ranch.
In Lenox, Mass. And I loved my job, but I've been doing it for a long time in a little windowless room, and I wanted to do something more. And just by happenstance, I got connected with a life coach.
Wow.
And I asked for help, which is a very hard thing for me to do. And she suggested that I look around and that if anybody was doing something that I might be interested in, that I reach out to that person.
Did you know, like right off the top of your head, like somebody that was really inspiring you that you wanted to reach out to, or was it kind of just fly by the seat of your pants?
I had a friend who was working for Jane Iredale at the time.
Okay.
And I went up to her and I was like, hey, listen, if something should ever come up, I do makeup, I'm looking to make a move and I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. And she's the one who introduced me to Environ Skin Care. Mm. And I went to a 2-day training and it made sense to me. I had very sensitive skin, red, ruddy, dry. I was aging, everything tingled and burned.
Well, you don't look anything like that, tingle and burning.
No. It changed my skin and it changed my life.
Really?
And I sat there for 2 days, and for the first time, I could actually use products with active ingredients. Mm-hmm. I was 38 at the time, and I went up to the owners, and I'm like, hey, I work in a windowless room, but I think I could do this. And they really believed in me. And I mean, I joke about it that I worked in a windowless room, but I did.
You worked windowless like you were in a prison?
Kind of.
Wow.
It wasn't really a prison, but, it was very quiet. Spa voices.
I don't have a spa voice, Ginny.
I don't either.
I don't know. Maybe it's the many cups of coffee. I just don't have a spa voice. It's underrated.
We always have that voice. I had a spa director once to say, Ginny, you have such a big personality. How do you tamp it down in that room? But
that's a business hack. How do you? I need that hack. Like, how do you tamp it down?
I think you just got to get really zen with with yourself.
My aunt would say duct tape. Just tape your mouth shut, Denise. Yeah, shut it.
Something, right? Anyway, it like all kind of fell into place, and they really supported and helped me get the skill set and just being brave, taking a leap of faith. I mean, I've stood in front of a room full of people and in front of doctors. I've trained with doctors. And I've traveled around the world, and it's really, really, really amazing.
Would you say this happened to you serendipitously because you were just having an open mind? Or like what was, for people that are listening, that are kind of stuck in their career in the windowless room, like what was it for you? Were you aware? Like what was happening?
I knew
Or were you just lucky? I think luck is made. I don't think we're just lucky. I mean, I think chance favors the prepared mind.
I mean, I think I could have easily stayed stuck, but I really didn't want to. I really wanted to make more money. I wanted another skill set. I didn't want to manage my friends. You know, I wanted something that was changing and exciting that challenged me. And, you know, that's how I learned. Like, I just wanted to be a trainer initially, you know, to talk to people and educate them. And what I learned was that, you know, sales is really education.
It is.
And once that idea really resonated with me, I was unstoppable. You know,
because we think sales is a dirty word, but when we start talking about sales, like educating, sharing knowledge, especially for me, I've spent many years in sales, negotiation, training, and so on. And I always wrestled with the word sales, right? That nasty car salesperson, that nasty vacuum salesperson. Right. And you're like, but if you really believe in that car or that vacuum, somebody needs your expertise. Right. That's why I needed you, Jenny, because I was like, I have Graham's jowls coming in. And if I start to look like that dog, what's the dog with the jowls?
I can't remember.
I'll be on podcast forever and never on video again. But you've changed that.
Yes, I have. We have the technology.
What is the technology?
So,
because when I'm trying to explain to my friends, like you're an MIT scientist with life-saving skills of removing jowls and wrinkles, they're like, what? Come on. Is this like a sci-fi movie? So tell the listeners so I don't look like somebody that's had too much coffee.
Well, I've got to go backwards a little bit.
Okay.
So, Environ was created by Dr. Des Fernandez. He's a world-renowned plastic surgeon, and it's all based on science. And really, what effectively do we need to feed the skin to have it be as healthy as possible for as long as possible? And the main active ingredient needs to be vitamin A. But vitamin A comes in a lot of different forms. It can, you know, you might have had a bad experience using it in the past. But the genius of Des is that he uses it in a very skin-friendly way. So you can use it morning and night. You stay very consistent with it. And it's everything you need to keep your skin young and healthy. So when we look at the skin and we see lines and wrinkles and pigmentation or sagging or whatever our concern or complaint is, it's really a vitamin A deficiency. If we correct the deficiency, we're going to have beautiful, healthy skin. But what happens is, you know, moving into the technology part is that as you progress and use the products, your skin's going to become very healthy.
You see, I'm mesmerized just listening to you. I'm like, yes, this has worked for me. Can I do it again before I go on stage?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
You can.
It's so fascinating because also, like we talked offline before, it's harder for me, and I'm in sales, and I love sharing my knowledge. But sometimes I find it's hard to trust, right? Because to cut through the chaos, the noise, there's so much out there. Like, how do you know? So now you did a great job breaking through with me, and I'm like a Ginny Miller groupie. Okay, people, do not mess with Ginny.
No.
Okay, because you've got to see her for if you like Mav skin, talk to Ginny.
Then I'll deny you.
Right. So, like, how do you break through all that? There's a lot of science, or so people claim.
Right.
There's a lot of information, and we're all busy, and we know our attention spans have shrunk, et cetera, et cetera. How do you get through to someone?
I think it's a combination of just, I put myself in that position of that woman. I mean, I'm going to be 60 years old in June. I want to look as good as possible. I'd like to try to avoid, any type of major intervention.
Major intervention. Is this a staged intervention of sorts?
Well, involving a knife and a surgeon. I just can't see myself doing that. But you never know. You never know.
Right.
I think it's about walking the walk and talking the talk. And I wouldn't want to see my family or my friends wasting time and money on things that just don't deliver. And unfortunately, as women, we have been sold snake oil since
Snake oil, baby.
Snake oil since we've been 11 years old. You know
Right.
what I
My
mean?
grandmother used to say olive oil. It's kind of the same. Right? Just put that on. That's good enough. It's what you have in the
It's
cabinet.
actually better than scrubbing the crap out of your skin all the time, right? I mean,
Right.
there's something to kind of a less is more. Which, anyway, I just, my passion is really educating people, having them make an intelligent, informed decision based on science, not about some proprietary blend of gingembre vivant. I don't need that.
No.
But
We don't even understand what that is.
I don't even know what that
It sounds good in the moment if you're drunk, but, next day you've got, I don't know.
I mean, maybe he's a beautiful Frenchman. I don't know. But it doesn't, at the end of the day, you want measurable, sustainable changes over time. And you want the science to be there. And you want to limit your exposure to bad chemicals, right? Because we're all about that balance. And I think for me, that's why I love what I do.
So you had this serendipitous moment. You asked the coach led you there, and now you travel like worldwide. That's pretty impressive. Did you imagine that as a kid? I'm going to be Ginny, facial extraordinaire worldwide? Like what? I want people to hear too, like it's possible for anybody.
I think, one of the biggest things that always resonated with me is that you got to show up to work every day as the best version of yourself at that moment. We have good days, we have bad days. But when you show up as your best self as much as possible, you never know what opportunities or doors are going to be open to you simply because you were reliable. You had a smile on your face. You were enthusiastic.
The one language everybody understands, 7 billion growing on this planet, is a smile. And it does reset your energy.
Oh, it totally does.
I mean, when you're having the worst day, for me, like no matter what's coming at me, if I can actually find 2 minutes to pause and smile, even at myself and the reflection of my computer, I'm like, okay, I'm alive and I'm good.
Right. I think I still have a pulse. I
Right.
do that in training. I have to train big rooms of people, and when I get to a really important point, I always tell a joke because when you laugh, you hold more data or information. So life doesn't.
And they say you burn calories, and this is the only way I can lose weight.
God in
I
heaven,
need to
can
laugh more.
Me too. I like that kind of diet. Let's
Well,
just laugh all the
exactly.
time.
Listen, this is not intended for medical use. Fine print. If you're suffering, please see your doctor. Okay, Ginny. So what's the best joke you tell to lighten up the room?
Oh, gosh. Well, let's see. Unfortunately, I'd need video. You'd need to see me because it's a physical joke.
It's a physical joke. Okay. That's the next time you come on the podcast.
We'll
Okay.
do a physical joke.
All right.
But anyway,
So they teach us that in improv, right? When you use your body, you connect with the audience better. And
right.
But I also think tonality of voice, and I do think laughter can really be sort of the catalyst for so much. So okay, now you're starting off on this journey.
Right.
You are married at the time.
I'm married at
Baby,
the time.
what is happening?
I had a 7-year-old. I think also I wanted to make sure that he could, he had all that he needed to go to school. I wanted him to go to college. I kind of had these bigger plans that I wanted, and I had a drive. I mean, I put a number down of what I wanted to make a month.
You wrote it down physically?
I wrote it down physically.
Where did you write it?
I wrote it on a check.
That is brilliant. That Jim Carrey used to do that. He wrote a check to himself when he was dirt poor.
Yep.
And put it in his pocket.
Yep. And I really, kudos to the people I work for, Carol and Rob Trow. I have to give a shout out to them. They made it possible for me to have that dream come true. And that's what I make a month.
Wow.
Yeah. When I showed
Ginny
her
Miller, it's like Ginny Miller manifestation. Woo!
Nation.
Okay.
When I first wrote the check, I actually showed it to Carol, and she's like, "Oh,
that's a joke."
Well, I hope so. And all these years later,
does that feel great?
this is such a good reminder of all those touchstones, those points, and how powerful it is when you really just get clear.
What did you do to get clear, other than the chance coincidence of looking after someone that was your mentor? Because I think the audience needs to know we're all clogged in our own personal chaos, and we all think we have it worse than the next guy, but that's just a myth, right?
Yeah.
We're all in it together, and I know for me, I write down things as if I want them to come to manifest daily, as in the daily drive. Yeah. So I write down proactively what I want to manifest. And it's been a practice for years. And most of the time, it does work. And then sometimes it doesn't. And later on, I feel like I'm thankful that it didn't, right?
Absolutely.
Like sometimes you're glad you didn't get what you wanted. So what about you?
Well, for me, I think it was a number of things. I'm trying to think of a book that I loved. Shelley Campbell. Have you ever heard of Shelley Campbell?
Vaguely.
She was a big money manifester, and she had a 365 a day book, and that I would open up every day. And some of my favorite ones were, people love to give me money. Money's coming to me from expected and unexpected places. And those things really kept me up. Now, what I find I do is I drive in the car a lot because I'm, sales rep. And I say to the universe, show me how good it can get today.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing.
And it never fails to elevate my mood, my hopefulness, maybe I'm a little nervous about the sales call that I'm going into. And I just say, show me how good it can get. And I love connecting with people. I love my accounts. I love the women that I meet in my life. It's mostly a women-focused industry.
But I think the guys are getting involved more so now.
They are.
Right? They're recognizing that their health extends to their face as well.
Absolutely.
Right? We don't want any doggy-ass guys.
No, we don't.
I can say doggy-ass on my own show, Jenny.
Yes, you can. I give you permission.
So if you were going to spill the beans and you wanted to help somebody move along, what's your greatest life hack or business hack that you would assume everybody would know, but you didn't know, and then when you figured it out, it really propelled you? Is it the manifestation statements? Is it a combination?
So there's two things. One is I am the type of person, I have to really be passionate about what I represent. So for me, when I worked for Canyon Ranch, it was a family. I believed in the product. I believed in what we were offering to people. Now working for Environ, it's the same thing. I feel incredibly blessed that I had two opportunities to work kind of in two families. So that is really important for me, because when I'm feeling low energy, that's what helps me. I remind myself.
So family, a sense of family, purpose,
and a sense of purpose, and integrity. I wouldn't be I'm not a good salesperson, because in my mind, sales is like the used car salesman we were just talking about. But when I switch that to education or guidance, it's kind of like, if I found something great, a lipstick, let's say, just for example, I would be so excited to come and tell you, oh my God, Matt, you've got to try this. It's moisturizing. It gives me a great color.
I hope you find me one.
I just, how much time would it take you to find that same
Exactly.
Right. It's the same with anything. How many restaurants would I have to go to find the good one? I talk to my friends. They know what I like.
That's why we want you on here spilling the beans. It's a shortcut. It's a short. So it's manifestation for you. It's shifting your energy up. Anything else?
I think asking for help when you do get stuck.
So don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And somehow helpers always kind of make their way to you in the most
if you have an
ways.
open mindset.
If you have an open mind, yeah.
Right. What I found this year for me too is consistency, right? Instead of jumping around, not only from product to product, but even just being consistent with a workout routine. Yeah. I can't commit to an hour every day, but I definitely can commit to 20. And you know what? That 20 minutes of consistency, or that, making sure that I'm drinking enough water every day, has paid huge dividends. Yep. So my life hack is stop giving it lip service, and actually we can do anything for 10 minutes. If you can do anything for 10 minutes, you can do it for 20. Yeah. So now you're in your own gig. Are you still traveling the world? Like, what is happening for you?
So that's the main focus is I still have my job that I love. Traveling around, I have a territory, travel all over the country, sometimes the world still. And I've decided to, as like a passion project, I really miss being in the treatment room and that energetic connection with clients. It's very small at this moment, but it gives me great pleasure. It's actually helped me be a better rep to my accounts because...
So you've started to work with clients one-on-one again.
One-on-one again. It's been a long time, but so I have both sides of the story and it's really elevated what I bring to the table for my accounts, and it's given me great personal joy.
It's like live focus grouping on both ends of the spectrum.
Because I know what these devices, I know what the products can do, and now I get to actually do it. And that's been incredibly satisfying. So it's my little passion project, and yet, I still love what I do, and I see myself doing that for a really long time. So,
and anything on the horizon for Ginny? Like, where what are you thinking about the 2 to 3 year plan? And what's the craziest guilty pleasure you allow yourself?
Well, let's see. Traveling. I've been saying yes to trips. I really love going hiking on vacation, which sounds like torture, but it's not.
So that's your guilty pleasure. Yeah, you're just taking the trips. Like, are you filling out sweepstakes forms and winning trips? Or are you just going on them with friends? Or like, how are you manifesting that?
I manifest them with friends.
Is it lotto? What is it?
I think I'm just putting that money towards it. I'm creating the fund for it. I'm manifesting the money to make the trips happen, and somehow they do.
What an inspiring life you have, Ginny. And I know personally that your skincare works because I hope that people will think I'm a walking face-forward person for it. Well, is there anything before we close out that you might want the guests to know about you and your skincare, or anything before we say goodbye and finish our last sip of coffee?
I think, we've said a lot, but I think, life has a lot to offer. You just got to kind of be open to it, and you're going to have good days and bad days. You just want more good days than bad days.
More good days than bad days, my friends. All right. You've heard it here on Mavs Coffee Clarity with Ginny Miller. You can check me out on my social media, and we'll have Ginny's contact information for you. Face Forward Fabulous with Ginny Miller. Whoop, whoop. We're spilling the beans. See you next week, my friends.